about 24 hours. Probably, huh? 48, you're right, thanks. Thanks, Jerry, getting old. Big game. Probably the big question is, how's Eli doing, right? Jerry knows, he knows how long it is till game time, but he knows I really don't talk about it. But he's not been cleared yet, or I'd probably announced it last night on my radio show or called you up, Jerry. So he's not been cleared yet, but so it'll be a game time decision. So we'll just continue to wait, make sure we take care of our guys. But excited to get into this game, and the kids are excited. Should be a great crowd, should be a great atmosphere, and beautiful day in Pittsburgh.
You've had a little bit more success relative to the rest of the ACC against Clemson. I guess what's the secret?
Well, if there was secret sauce, something we could sprinkle on it, I don't know. I don't know what that success record is. I know what we are. I don't know what anybody else is. We know it's a good football team. We've gone through all 327 plays, at least of their offense against us in the last 4 attempts. Just watching, that guy over there, that Williams kid is playing next door. Got a good view of him. Like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. And he just got a touchdown pass this week. But phenomenal athlete. I mean, you talk about going up and getting the ball. So we've gone through and just see who they are, and it's amazing as you go through it. And I know they got a new coordinator in Riley. How similar the offense is, which tells me that Dabo is really pretty involved with the offense as far as what they do, how they do it. I think that, we take a lot from what we see on that videotape, and it's pretty revealing when you compile 4 games together and look at what they do. So hopefully that helps us defensively, and obviously different offense. So we got to get rolling on offense. Whether it's Eli or Nate, we got a ton of confidence. I've said that since I named Nate Darnell the starter a year ago, so we got great confidence in him that he'll go out and play even better, because he got more reps this week.
You've talked about, a lot of the details that you guys are cleaning up on offense and working to get better at each week. Can it sometimes come down to one of those things clicking for other things to start clicking? Do you feel like you guys are, if one aspect starts to work, dominoes will start to fall for you guys, or do you think it is just the general sweep of, all these different things have to get cleaned up right away against the team?
Well, all the things got to get cleaned up. I mean, it's hard to play, football when it's 1st and 15. You're playing behind the sticks, then you can't run the ball, then you're throwing it, then they're rushing you, then you're getting a holding call. I mean, you have to stay, two-dimensional, as I say all the time. That's why I would like when we can make someone one-dimensional. You have to have a run game, but when you hurt yourself and you shoot yourself in the foot, you're going to have issues, and we can't have 1st and 15. We can't have 1st and 20. We got to go 1st and 10 and try to get 10 yards and 3 or 4 downs. We haven't even got to the point where we can, seriously run some 4th downs lately, because 4th and 1, I'm going to go for it, because I feel, I got confidence in what we can do up front. So, we just got to get to those opportunities, and we got to move the sticks.
What do you do to tighten up on those like procedural mistakes? Like, the things that you guys go over from before spring to now.
Right.
But like, when you're a coach, how do you make a mid-season like hey, we're re-emphasizing this to the team?
I'm out there screaming with the megaphone, like, get home, get the line quick, just let's go. It's those fine details that you sometimes, you forget, you get lazy, thinking I just got lined up. And again, it's, when you watch, you guys watch the game 10 minutes, like, just a flinch of here, or, the guard goes down a second late. It's like, everybody's got to be on the same page, everybody's got to go, and it's different when you're going fast. It's not like you can say, hey, we're always going to get it done in 14 seconds or 15 seconds. You got 15 seconds. If we get it at 9, so the difference is it a 9-second one? Where's everybody else coming from? If everybody else gets back, so you can't. So it's not something you can, exactly practice every day. Hey guys, we have 15 seconds to get back. Just get back and get your hand on the ground, or so it's going to be different every time based on where everybody's coming from on the last play, right? So that's why there's that gauge of you snap it between 7 seconds and 22 seconds. We're always somewhere in there, 50-some% of the time, but it varies based on how quickly everybody can get back and get lined up. Obviously, receivers come from, you just write a go ball and coming back, it's going to take him longer to get back. Then then your line gets back and you don't have those problems. But we just ran into, again, it was tiny, and we've seen some of those tiny ones get totally ignored throughout the year, especially on the goal line. A couple weeks ago.
What did you see from the receivers this week, especially in practice, especially after as many drops as they have, and who do you need to see step up this weekend?
They all need to step up, because we're when we do throw the ball, we're gonna spread it around and not give it to one guy, but they all have to step up. You know, I can't tell you, I watch practice and see a lot of drops. I didn't see any last week either though, so, you know, we gotta make it on game, game day, you gotta, you know, look it in, you know, try to catch it first before you try to get up the field and gain yards. Everybody gets anxious, everybody wants to make plays, I got the opportunity to get the ball in my hand, but patience, take care of the details first, and you know, we can't have 9 drops this week. Can't happen. You'll be in trouble.
Every week on Thursday, you seem to be pretty satisfied with how the week of practice went. Is there degrees of that? And what degree would this week?
There aren't really degrees. It's either, you know, it's funny. You know, we talk about, you know, winning grades, ACC grades. You know, and you know, and everybody has a different level. And again, in the NFL, I was talking to Charlie Partridge a couple weeks ago, and I said, how do you grade your players? You know, is it average? Is it losing? Because we've got probably more than the NFL. He says it's either good or bad, right? And we've had a good week of practice. I mean, you can't sit there and, you know, nitpick on every little tiny thing, you know, which we do. But like, it's not, we're not going to nitpick and say it's a, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 7. I'm not. You can't grade a practice like that because there's so many things happening on, and there's so many equations that go into that offense, defense, special teams. But it's been a good week of practice again, and you know, like every other one, our kids are locked in, they're focused and ready to go, and maybe more locked in. You know, I heard one guy say, you know, can't wait to play this game. I'm like, well, how about last week? Could you wait to play that game? Is it because it's, you know, top 25 team? You know, to your question, Stephen, like, you know, I don't know, but you know, I don't know. Maybe they think they're just giant killers and they may just show up and beat, you know, a Virginia team, but just, you know, put it out there. And I tell them that a million times. That ain't gonna happen. You ain't that good. Nobody is. You better play.
You had many weeks where you walked in on a Thursday and not said it to us, but thought to yourself like, that sucked. We had a bad week.
Have I ever?
Have you had many of those in
Never.
the years?
Never. Even last year. And that was a sucky season. Let's be honest. But we still practice good. But you know, you still gotta, you know, still, do you have those guys that match up with those guys? Do you have the guy pulling the trigger? You can have a great week of practice. It doesn't matter. You're playing against scout team guys. You're not playing against Clemson's defense or Clemson's offense. So you can have a good week of practice. Doesn't mean you're gonna play well. You gotta be locked in and focused and ready to go. You know, your mind better be right on game day. That's what's you know, because you know, you can be ready for practice and all that, but you know, but on game day, you gotta be ready to roll.
Where do you see the margin being the difference for winning and losing? Is it simply just play on the field, or is there something where you feel like, hey, you've been coaching a long time, you get a feel for these things?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and there's some good answers to it. You know, it comes down to depth. I mean, I would say, like, you know, let's just look at offensively. You guys have asked the question 100 times here in the last 3 weeks, like, what's wrong? Since Branson Taylor's been out, like, is our depth? You know, we didn't have another Branson Taylor. Maybe we got to go out and buy a few more linemen, right? I don't know. You got NIL now. You know, I'm going to go ask for, you know, an advance, and you know, we just got to get, you know, whatever it is. And I'm not, you know, throwing anybody a bus. I'm just saying depth is hard. I think it's hard anywhere. You lose a linebacker, you lose an offensive lineman. It's hard, and I think it's hard on everybody. You know, you look at Virginia. They were down linemen for 3 weeks, had 3 losses, and they come in here and played solid. I mean, they didn't have 400 yards of total offense, but they played solid. We held them underneath their average for the year, like we do most of the time. I think every time except for one. I think we were maybe 10 or 12 yards over against SMU, their average for the year. But we, you know, I think, you know, just looking at, you know, the 9 games we played so far, that we've held every team under that average. So it's just who you're playing against, and, you know. But the depth is important. You know, again, we've stayed primarily, you know, pretty healthy on defense, right? I mean, and we got Fitzy, you know, we were down a guy, we were young, got Fitzy back, that made us better. And then, you know, but offensively, I mean, last 3 years in a row, we've lost our left tackle. That's a hard thing to recover from when you lose your starting left tackle. And we're not like the National Football League. We can't go buy another one. In the middle of the season, you can't, you know, just, you know, go on the waiver wire and get a free agent. You can't bring a Mike Williams in mid-year to solve a wide receiver problem. It doesn't happen. And it's going to get worse because now the numbers are going down from, you know, 117 players we bring into camp to we're going to bring in now 105. So I don't want to get on the other issues, but that's the next deal.
I mean, just because you mentioned it, it does seem like 105 is going to be the number. I think last week the SEC.
105 is the number.
Right. Okay. So the last week the SEC said, well, at least for next year they're going to stay at 85 scholarships. Have you gotten any guidance from the ACC about their intentions?
We've got absolutely no guidance from them. But again, I think, you know, the SEC and Sankey said that. I don't know what's regulated. I think every institution this is the House settlement versus the NCAA. There's gonna be, the one thing we know for sure, it's 105. That's roster spots. Currently, we have 85. We could have 105. I think every institution can make that on their own. I think they can make that decision on their own. I don't think, I don't think the SEC can say, hey, you're only gonna have this, it's an NCAA, it's a national rule. So, but I think it's great if each conference is regulating it and everybody will abide by it. What keeps people from, again, I'm not so sure if that's true or false, who knows? I mean, it could be sandbagging and in a week they, see if everybody goes 85, then they go to 95. I don't know. I heard they were going 95 and then all of a sudden it's 85, so who knows?
If each institution is allowed to make their own number,
Everybody's allowed to make their own number.
what number would you suggest for Pitt?
You know what, I love having walk-ons on our football team. Jimmy Morrissey's a pretty good walk-on, right? Let's go back to Jimmy. But I just think getting rid of a walk-on program is bad. If I had to pick mine, I'd say, again, I'm not in charge either, so don't I would think a 95 is a good number, okay? Or 90, and again, what I don't wanna do is be stressed out and not have to, I don't, just cause it's at 90 or 95, I don't have to have 95. At least I'm not worried at the end, like I took too many and I'm oversigned and what am I gonna do? I'm oversigned, those are stressful times trying to get your number back down to 85. But I just think with 105, you better have more scholarship guys on your football team. I think 95 would be a nice number, and then you got your 10 most quality walk-ons that you keep. And I think those are, talk about priority walk-ons. Those would be, I don't know, maybe we got to figure out another word for priority walk-on because it'd be different than those are really priorities. So, Chris Peak, I'll let you come up with a word. And we'll call it that.
He will too.
He will. Oh yeah.
I think priority's good. I think you call them preferred now, so priority would be even better, right?
Yeah, I think we call priority too.
All right. I want to ask you, I was looking this up this morning, this is what I do with my time. You've won the coin toss 58 times since you've been here. All
What
right?
is wrong with you?
You've taken, that's not the question, that's not the question. You've taken the ball 8 times out of those 58, that's not the question either. 4 of those 8 have been this year. What changed in your approach this season to take the ball more?
It's another really, you're studying the game, like what's going on here, and I don't even look and see who wins. It's, they come off the field and figure out what's going on, but we have won more coin tosses this year. In the past, we've not had a chance to even call coin toss. I think last year we're like over. I told our captains, that's just bad luck now. I do think last week they picked tails, and the kids say tails never fails. But we've gone, we sit in a staff meeting, we just got out of it at noon today. Didn't get out of it, it started at noon, and we talk every week, like, what do we want to do? It's based on who we're playing. I'm not gonna tell you what we're gonna do, but, the vast majority of the guys in here say, let's take the ball, let's go down and score, let's be aggressive. We've always, Michigan State, you count them up there, go back and count. And, if we win the coin toss, I bet you there's not one time we ever didn't take the ball. It's, we started off young and, defensively, we said, let's take, offense is gonna score some points, we're going fast, let's go get up on people, and it's great. I tell you what, it's fun to play defense when it's 7-0. It's kind of, so it's a feel thing, it's a weather thing, it's a wind thing. If you think you're getting second half wind, wind and rain, so there's a lot of things that, go into it. But I do want to get the ball down to the Panther Pit in the fourth quarter. That's one thing I want. Big plays are made, wins in that Panther Pit, area. So we like to be down there. A lot of memorable plays down there.
How would you assess the play of the defensive line this season, recently, I guess, as well?
Again, I think we've been solid. Is it flashy? Is it Rashad Weaver, Patrick Jones yet? No. But I think, they're doing a nice job. I think I like how we're coming off the ball. We gotta make some more plays on reverses, and we got guys there, and reverses, we got some good calls in where we're not chasing down the line of scrimmage. Anytime there's an end there for a reverse, we've worked hard because, Clemson runs a lot of reverses too. So we've worked hard, but anytime the end is squared up, then you gotta go make a play and turn it back into their help, we haven't played that very well, as of late, but we gotta, we're built to stop reverses, based on a lot of things that we do and try to teach. So based on the ends playing the reverse right now, not very good, but based on, I think we've been solid.
Good.
Anything else?